Hello guys, haven't been able to do a lot recently, so I'm going to do a thing on the pound coins, which are going to be varieties, whether it's through their strike, mistrike, dies or anything else. So there's your proof coins, which is dubious as to how they were scanned, but anyway, that's what we've got. There's nothing out there. I can't find a proof coin that's definitive, so it's ridiculous. There you go. If I remember rightly, even these aren't right. Let's have a go back to that again. No, even that's slightly different. But anyway, so there you go. That's what you've got. This is what you're looking at. All these greens are what are regular varieties. I usually start from the shamrock, which are the two leaves. And what you've got to keep in mind when you're doing this is which is which. This is straightforward. This is one of the criteria of fakes, is the crisscross of the top of the thistle and these long, whatever they are. I don't know what a thistle looks like in real, but I don't think I've ever seen it like that. And this is what I've concentrated on now, what I'm going to show you. I've taken pictures. This is the privy mark. It's on, that's a cross. There's also rumour of a W, but it's yet to be defined or declared, and that's your designer or artist initials. I have yet to find anything wrong with these other than these petals being ballooned. It's too much to go on. So I've concentrated on this and that, these two things, and they usually tend to stick together. Okay? Now I'm just going to run through the pictures that I've taken. There's your first one. That looks nothing like what you've just seen, right? Again, it's the same one, I think that is. That's another variety. I've got them in piles. There, I've got piles 5, 3, 4, 4, and 4. But the main one, I'll have to go through. I'll go through after we've done this. So I think these are all the long ones that are wrong. But keeping in mind, you've got to look at this and that, the two together. They both vary at the same time. See, now we go to an extreme, which is just ridiculous. Now that seems to stay the same. And then you go to the other extreme, where it's massive. Not forgetting, you need to have that other picture in full. There you go. There's another one that's, see, now that's nearly enough missing. You will probably find there's other things that you can look at that will give you a clue. But I mean, I'm just concentrating on the two that I've got used to. And it's whatever you're looking at normally is associated with the inner coin to the outer coin. There's 20 in all that I did. See, now these are more like the normal. I'm going to say normal. the normal pound coin. So you're getting the gist of it. You're getting the feeling of it now, what's going on here. If you count them, if you watch this and count them, you should be able to do it yourself. So I mean about these being swollen. It's a bit like, what's the other thing that swells? I can't remember what swells. There's something else that swells on one of the... See, that's that I think is about the best you're going to get as normal. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And I think you'll find I don't know, even that looks ridiculous. It looks over exaggerated. But what I'm going to try and do, I did do this earlier and it doesn't work. I can't have two windows open of the same thing. But what I'm going to try and do is search for that. Okay, that's what we're going to search for. We're going to search for this. So here goes. That's not that. That's not that. That's not that. That's not that. That could be possible. So there's 1. 16 is 1. That's not it. That's not it. There's another one. So there's 2. That's possible. That's what I'm saying. It's possible. It's not that it is. It's possible. That is more like what I think it should be. So you need the good one up in a double window. I need a good one up in a double window. Let's see what it does for me. Yeah, no, I don't want that. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work because I need... Oh, hang on. Let's do it this way. Yeah, it does do it. Oh, thank the Lord for that. Right, let's open that up. Oh, hang on, do I want to open that up? Oh, let's try. No, it won't. It won't do it. 2 windows won't open. Yes, it will. I lied. Right, so that's what we're looking for. And we want to now go back up to... No, just going the opposite way now. What's going on here? What's that going? Right, there's number 20. So it's not that. It's not number 19. It's not number 18. It's not number 17. Now that is pretty close. Damn near it. So there's 1, number 16. It's not that. It's not that. There's a good one, so that's 2. That's 2. It's not that. That is the best one, without a doubt. And even that's wrong, because that's curving round there. See how elongated that is compared to how short that is. So that's not it. That's it. That's 3. I'll give that 3, okay? That's not right because that one's out. Yeah, and that's too short, so that's not it. And that's too big. That's perfect, and that's too big. So you see, it's not so much whether there's pressure on the coin or strikes or errors, all the rest of it. The fact of the matter is, we're being dished out coins, and we're supposed to be able to tell whether they're fake or not. And you can't. It's impossible. And what makes it even doubly worse is even a proof can be brought down into this BU category. As far as I'm concerned, you cannot have a proof BU. That is an impossibility. And if it is possible, it makes a mockery of the Royal Mint. Brilliant uncirculated at its best can be done on mint sets. In its best form. No, it's not that one I wanted. Like I say, then you consider how many varieties we've seen, and like I say, I've got 5 piles in front of me. One is 5, one is 3, one is 4, one is 4. So we've got 3 at 4, 1 at 3, and 1 at 5. And I doubt even that. I think we've seen more varieties than that. Then you've got to include going to this. So if this is like what we've just seen, and I haven't concentrated on anything else, I've only concentrated on this, you can bring this into question, you can bring that into question, you can bring the wording into question, whether it's close to the edge or outside, whether it's got double, as that indicates. Like I say, the only thing I found with the rose is like this, when it bulges. It just bulges out of proportion. It looks ridiculous. And that's the whole thing. It just makes the whole coin ridiculous. And this is, you've got to remember, this is only the reverse side. This is not the obverse side. Admittedly, there's not so many errors on the obverse side. Although thinking about it, yes, there is, because you've got the security feature, the 1 and the £1 sign in that security feature. You've got the Queen's crown, the Queen's neck, trying to remember what else is on there. Oh, and again, you've got the writing, the inscription that goes around the inside of the coin. You've got that to take into consideration because that's all over the place. And then you can then look at the inscription around the edge of the coin. And the amount of varieties you've got of that. So, whether you want to call it whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to argue because there seems to be someone intent on doing this. Well, I didn't never set out to be a know-it-all about coins. But what I do know is what the Royal Mint is with regard to fake coins. And what they pump out to us and what they try and sell. And the manipulation of what they try and sell. Because there's slight errors. So that in itself tells you that coins are worth something if there's something wrong with them. And that's what it boils down to. There's nothing, you can't argue it. That is the fact. Like I say, I am only carrying on with doing these changes of the day and whatnot because I find it interesting, you know. Someone's got me trying to use my cell phone properly, the camera, which I'm getting the hang of now. The only thing is with my shaky hands. I will try and make a mount. It's funny because the setup I got it on now, you wouldn't believe it. It really is funny. But see, I can't even tell you that is the image of a proof coin. All I can tell you is that the coin has been taken from a sign, and I believe these coins have been taken from a book. As I say, if you go on the Royal Mint site, the only thing you can get is the... I can't remember what side it is. I can't remember what side it is they show. And then they show that side all the way through 2016, right up to 20... oh, hang on a minute. I might be getting a bit confused. When did they change the £2 coin? It was the Britannia, wasn't it? And that was 2015. So I might be confusing that with this. I am a bit confused because that doesn't sound right. But I'm sure it is. They must have changed a year within as such. Because the next change was Charlie Boy, King the Third, and that was everything. Everything changed. So you've only got from 2016 to 2021, I think it is. Maybe 2022. I can't remember. So you've really got relatively small runs of coins. And like I say, if you take everything in consideration, it's like the 5p's. What I tried to do is I tried to sell sets of 4 or 5, all showing the different features, the variated features. And I could do it with the 10 pences as well, but I've got to say the 10 pences are really scarce. They really are scarce. And the old type with the lion on the front with Britannia, I think they're more popular than the Michael Dent ones. But just on the fact on their own, you very rarely get them in the change, especially what are spat out from self-service tills. I always end up with a pocket full of copper if I go to a self-service till. Really bugs me, it does. But the 5p's are in a good shape, whichever way you go. And like I say, now we're actually finally getting the King Charles III coins in circulation. Like I say, it's the person that I talked with is he got 5 £1 coins, and I got one £5 coin, one 5p. So I'm quite happy with that, because it's unusual to even get that. You know, especially with the way things are going. I don't think we're going to have coinage much sooner or later than 2027. I really can't see it. Do you see now what the big thing now is? What they're talking about is this phishing or filching with these scanners. They don't even have to touch you. They can just, as soon as they get near you, they can read the cards. But then you've got, what they're saying now is you've got to get these special wallets and special things to put your cards in so that they can't be scanned. This is what the banks have accepted. This is what the banks... You can't make it up. You really cannot make this up. It's ridiculous. It's the same situation with the coins. This is just exactly the same situation. It's a mess. It's a total joke. Yeah, it does mean, because it's the same as stamps as well. Stamps are exactly the same thing. I don't know. But yeah, so that's what my site was originally set up for, was fake coins and how you can define them with the criteria that the Royal Mint lay out. And they can't even produce the coins to do it. You know, there's videos out there whereby, I can't remember two fellas talking, and this fella's going on about with, these forgeries are so good that even the Royal Mint can't tell them apart. Well, that's fantastic, because how can you tell them apart when I've got 5 piles of coins, each with a different variation of that? That alone. If I was to take these 10 coins and go on to, let's say, this, which is the one I usually start with. So I gave it a chance with that. Because this is more common. This really is more common. There's so many varieties of it, it's unreal. This one's super enlarged, that one's hardly there, then that one's super enlarged and that one's not there. This vein goes up and down. It's incredible. It's an unbelievable joke. So, you know, they talk about old coins, and you know, coin collectors want them in the state that they're in when they're sold, or when they're found. It's mind-boggling, because did this go on way back then? Did the Royal Mint, or whoever produced it, whatever mint produced it at that time years ago? It was even worse, really, because I know for a fact that it was a well-known thing that all this overprinting of coins was because if they had these errors, they didn't want to throw them back in to be redone, you know, reuse. So they just printed over the top of them, which is fine. I mean, that's fine, because in those days, you know, metal was worth money, and it was silver. So you can understand it. But in the same respect, this is what the problem is. It's a deep-rooted sense of value. But you can't say that today because the coins are of no value whatsoever. I watched a thing on YouTube the other day about the pound note and the pound coin. What can you buy for it with a pound coin and a pound note, the old pound note? That tells you the value of what everything's worth, and it's nothing. It's crazy. And now, like I say, we're going through all this with the local government. It's a fiasco, a complete and utter fiasco. And like I say, I wasn't even intending to carry on. It was only because people seem to like watching these change of the days that I carried on. I mean, I'd done my job. I'd done my purpose. I can't remember what video it was, and I said, you know, I'm quite prepared to stop, you know, and you can, whoever wanted to use my stuff, they could use it, you know, it's no skin off my nose. I was just trying to prove a point, and I did it. So yeah, that's that. But the other thing I would look at as well, simply because I can't remember what coin it was. What's the coin with 3 of those? Oh, is it the penny on the crown? I think it is the penny. It's either that or the 2 penny. It's what I just can't remember. But you know, the world's your oyster. Oh, I know something, but it's on this other coin. I don't know whether it's the penny or the 2 penny. The crown, these bits join up. These parts of the crown can join up. But I'm sure it's the penny. I don't know why it's sticking in my mind. I think it's because it's got that port chalice. Hang on, let's have a look. Let me have a look. Penny, crown. Nope, it's not the crown. It's not that. What about the 2p? Let's have a look at the 2p. Nope. The 2p is a smaller version. The 2p is a smaller version of that. It's hard. No, you wouldn't even be able to define the difference. What coin can it be then? I can't think what coin it can be. But I don't know any other coin. That's got that crown. Unless it's an old coin. No, it can't be that even. I can make excuses now. I could have swore there was one though. It's not the 10 pence. I really don't know which one it was, guys. I really don't. But then my memory's not the best of things altogether anyway. Yeah. Oh, is it a 20p piece? Let's have a look at this. Nope, even that's got, well, the 20p piece is worse because it really doesn't define it. The 20p piece is worse. So out of the 3 with the crown, oh, I wonder if I'm thinking of the portraits and the crowns. It could be that, thinking about it. It could be. I just can't remember. So there you go. That's what you've got. That's what you're going to get. Like it or lump it. But if you're collecting coins, and you want the varieties that are out there, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alone. 5 different variations of that alone. That and that. 5. And then, like I say, you can go to the Thistle, the Shamrock, the Writing, the hard one is that Rose. But no doubt you could find something wrong with that as well. I've just never, because it's so intricate, you've got to allow for something to be sort of standing, give way. I mean, there's so much going on in that, you would expect something to go wrong. But this is not. This is bulk standard. So's that. That's bulk standard. But this is what's included in the Royal Mint's fake coins. This is one of the criteria. That and that crisscross. And it's supposed to be 3 of these. And I suppose if you count this one on the outside, it is 3. So, yeah, this as well moves up and down, and that's what alters this. That alters that. The same with the Britannia. The oh no, please don't do this to me. The trident, the stem of the trident is between the, I'm just trying to think, hang on, what hand is it she's got it on? So it's this one. So it's in between the ring and the ring finger and what's the other one? The longest one. Can't remember. Can't even remember that. Yeah, and if that's out, so if you say that should run through the gap between the 4 main fingers, not the thumb, the 4 main fingers, the line of the coin should run through that. If it doesn't run through that, the trident at the other end will be like this. It will alter. The other thing is the helmet of Britannia changes. The same sort of area. And I never really studied the Britannia. I wanted to do the same thing. I needed to buy coins to show you, which is what I've got. I've done all that. So you can look through my my videos. There's lots of them. You know, and the other thing was the Fire of London. And what brought that all into question, the Fire of London, was the inscription around the outside. That's what brought that into question. The Britannia, I can't remember what brought the Britannia into question, other than the fact that I was trying to judge where the faults would be, and I was right. I was exactly right. I found them without even seeing them. I could tell. So that's what you got. But you'd be pretty hard to find a pound coin with that detail. Without a shadow of a doubt, you'd be pretty hard to find. And that's what it's all about. That's what collecting's all about. Finding all these different variations. Some people like it and some people don't. I did it with stamps for years. I used to love buying errored stamps because I found it really, really interesting. Because, you know, they used, again, like with coins, they use different die sets, different machines. You got different perf machines, perfings. The list is endless. But it's a wealth of information, stamps. It really is. And I think it's one of the reasons why I gave up in the end. I just couldn't keep up with it. But I liked other things like oddities. What I included as an oddity, and you know, and you learn that this is like the things I was talking about was postal stationery. India's a good one. Postal stationery, the differences. So, you know, the subject is phenomenal. You could write a book on the £1 coin. Easy. Easy. Without a shred of a doubt. Yeah, and there's not many of them really when you think about it, compared to the pennies and 2 pennies. Because they've been about since 1970. So the pound coins didn't come out to 83, if I remember rightly, the round ones. So that's 83. That's 83. The first half P's are up to 84. So you're looking, I can't think of how many coins. Is it 12? Yeah, I think it is 12. 12 coins. 70 70, 71, isn't it? 71 to 84, so it's 13 coins. Yeah. Oh, I've made some mistakes selling my coins, grave errors. But yeah, and this is why I'm selling them anyway. I'm not now. I'm putting them back into circulation so someone else can enjoy them. I've wasted my money enough now, and that's the end of that. So, like I say, that's why I'm getting rid of them. But I'm still debating whether to use eBay. Anyway, so it's time to go, and love you and leave you. Bye-bye.